Namaskar. Welcome to the Gnanis world. Riddle number 2. The origin of the Vedas, the Brahminic explanation, or an exercise in the art of circumlocution. There's hardly any Hindu who does not regard the Vedas as the most sacred book of his religion. And yet, ask any Hindu what is the origin of the Vedas and it would be difficult to find one who can give a clear and a definite answer to the simple question. Of course, if the question was addressed to a Vedic Brahmin, he would say that the Vedas are Sanatan. But this is no answer to the question. For first of all, what does the word Sanatan means? The best explanation of the word Sanatan is to be found in the commentary of Kaluka Bhatt on chapter 1, shlokas 22 and 23 of the Manusmriti. This is what Kaluka Bhatt defines the word Sanatan. I quote, "The word Sanatana," he says, means eternally pre-existing. The doctrine of the superhuman origin of the Vedas is maintained by Manu. The same Vedas which existed in the previous mundane era, that is Kalpa, were preserved in the memory of the omniscient Brahma, who was one with the Supreme Spirit. It was those same Vedas that in the beginning of the present Kalpa he drew forth from Agni, Vayu and Surya. And this dogma, which is founded upon the Vedas, is not to be questioned, for the Veda says the Rig Veda comes from Agni, the Yajur Veda from Vayu, and the Sam Veda from Surya. To understand the explanation by Kaluka Bhatt, it is necessary to explain what Kalpa means. A kalpa is a reckoning of time adopted by the Vedic Brahmins. The Brahminic reckoning of time divides time into 1. Varsha, 2. Yuga, 3. Mahayuga, 4. Manvantara and 5. Kalpa. Varsha is easy enough to understand. It corresponds to the term year. What exactly the period of time covered by the term Yuga covers, there is no unanimity. A Mahayuga is a period covered by a group of 4 Yugas. 1. Krita Yuga, 2. Treta Yuga, 3. Dwapar Yuga and 4. Kali Yuga. The 4 Yugas follow one another in a cycle. When the period of the first Yuga is spent, it is followed by the second and so on in the order given. When the cycle is complete, when Mahayuga is completed and a new Mahayuga opens, every Mahayuga begins with a Krita Yuga and ends with a Kali Yuga. There is no uncertainty as to the time relation of the Mahayuga and Kalpa. 71 Mahayugas make one Kalpa. There is, however, some uncertainty as to the time relation between Mahayuga and Manvantara. A Manvantara is equal to 71 Mahayugas and something more. What exact period of time that something more means, the Brahmins have not been able to state categorically. Consequently, the time relationship between Manvantara and Kalpa is uncertain. But this does not matter very much for our present purposes. For the present, it is enough to confine our attention to Kalpa. The idea underlying Kalpa is closely connected with the creation and dissolution of the universe. The creation of the world is called Srishti. The dissolution of the universe is called Pralaya. Time between Srishti and Pralaya is called Kalpa. The idea of the origin of the Vedas is thus more intimately connected with the idea of Kalpa. According to this scheme of things, what is supposed to happen in that when a Kalpa begins, creation begins, With the beginning of the creation, there comes into being a new series of Vedas. What Kaluka Bhatt wants to convey is that though in a sense every new Kalpa has a new series of Vedas, the same old Vedas are reproduced by Brahma from his memory. That is why he says that Vedas are Sanatan, that is, eternally pre-existing. What Kaluka Bhatt says is that the Vedas are reproduced from memory. The real question is who made them and not who reproduced them. Even if one accepts the theory that reproduction at the beginning of each Kalpa, the question still remains who made the Vedas when the first Kalpa began. The Vedas could not have come into being ex nihilo. They must have a beginning, though they may not have an end. Why don't the Brahmins say openly? Why the circumlocution? Kindly subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for updates. Thank you.